everybody. So I'm kind of a stand-in today. Margie sees a group on Long Island, and unfortunately this was their week of vacation, so it was my benefit. I get to come and introduce Margie. Margie and I met in March, kind of on a fluke. I was at a conference, and she was having some difficulty with the speakers, and she said, you know, I'm wearing Lynx 3D, and I have this app. Can you show me if I can do something to make things a little better for the speaker? And I said, I can go one better. Try my mic. I gave her my mic, I let her keep it, and we've been pen pals ever since, really. She's a good, really nice, warm soul, and I feel like I've known her forever and ever and ever. So with that, I will introduce Margie Canonico.
First, I want to say, how do you follow that? I do want to thank Kate and Tom and Rich, Melinda for setting and inviting me to come here to speak to you. To give you a little bit of my hearing history, I'm a child of the 70s, and I had an older sister who had hearing loss. She failed her kindergarten screening. My parents got her hearing aids. She didn't like them. She never wore them. So my mother started seeing the same symptoms in me. And, you know, they did the hearing test of the 70s. Margie, I turned my head. She hears fine. It's good. And I said, okay, good enough, you know. I knew I didn't hear as well as everybody else, but I heard good enough. So with that, to give you a little bit of what my hearing loss is, I'm a ski slope. I go from 10 dB at the 250 hertz down to 90 dB in the 8,000. I made it through elementary school, middle school, high school, 4-year college, graduate school, without hearing aids. Knowing what I know now, I don't know how I did it, but I did. So I took my first teaching job. And my assistant, it was in a special needs school, my assistant starts gathering up the kids. So what are you doing? She goes, there's a fire alarm. I said, ooh, that's a problem. I might need to hear that. So I went and I got one hearing aid. I got an analog hearing aid. It was all I could afford. I put it in. I was driving home from the audiologist. I thought we were at war. I was driving over manhole covers and I'm looking for planes in the air. And I got used to it and I said, wow, this is great. Good enough. All right, all I need is one. My audiologist said, you really need two for location. And so I said, you know what, if I hear somebody call me from behind, I'm going to turn and look. I'll find the sound source. I don't need localization. I'm good enough. So lo and behold, my life continues on with my one hearing aid. I get married. My husband and I have 2 children. My second child, my son, failed his newborn hearing screening in 1 year. I thought, okay, well, I have hearing loss, no shock there, but okay. So he gets aided, and we thought he entered terrible 2s. I quit my job at that time to stay home with him to get services. He turned 2, we thought he entered terrible 2s. He lost his hearing in his good ear. So that put us on a fast track to cochlear implants. So I got 1 cochlear implant, he had 1 hearing aid, and we were doing well. So we ended up getting an upgrade through Cochlear for his implant, and they tell us, you know, you can get a ReSound hearing aid. There's compatibility for the cochlear implant. So Michael looks at me and says, can we get it? Yeah, I'm going to say no to that? Of course we're going to get it. So he gets his hearing aid, his ReSound hearing aid. He has the Enzo. He puts it on, and he goes, this sounds great. I said, really? Maybe when it's time for me to upgrade, I'll get ReSound. And so I did. So then I got ReSound, and I said, wow, this is really great. Now, when Michael went to kindergarten, I was done staying home. I went back to school to get my degree as a teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing. I started working at a school for the School for the Deaf near us, working with children on a listening and spoken language path. With that, one of the head speech therapists came to me and said, Margie, I want to mentor you to be an auditory verbal trained therapist. I said, how can I do that if I don't really hear those high-frequency sounds? I don't know that I would be good at that. She said, trust me. It's a 3-year mentorship. And I said, all right, I'll give it a whirl. If nothing else, the training I have and the mentorship I have will help me be a better professional. At that point, I thought, I'm still hearing good enough. I meet Kate in March, and I bring my iPad, my laptop, I bring my cell phone. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm looking for accessibility for my son, for my students, how to help them be in a situation like this and get live time captioning, and everything was terrible that I tried out. Kate said, here, try my multi-mic. I was the guinea pig in my own science experiment that I didn't expect. I gave the multi-mic to the speaker, and I could hear her in the conference, but it was delivered right to my ears. It was life-changing. So now I go back to school, and now some of my students have multi-mics too. So I said, oh, you got one of those? So do I. So we go, and now when I do reading benchmarking with my students, I bring them to a quiet place. I really listen with great care to make sure that they're putting those S's and high-frequency sounds on. Sometimes I'm like, did they get it? Did they not? With this multi-mic, I put it on the table. There is no question if they're saying it or not. So ReSound has changed my life. It's changed my students' lives. It's changed my son's life. What you do here is important. It is life-changing. And I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to come and speak with you, because when you meet somebody with hearing loss, they will all have an amazing story to share. I'm fortunate enough to be able to share mine with you, and I'm truly very grateful to everything that ReSound has done. Thank you.